Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a fireside chat on Connected TV, the opportunity for Indian brands. This chat session will make you understand what is CTV and how does it change marketing. Why is CTV the future and also the present? Scope of CTV in India now and growth rates, etc. I would like to invite Satyajit Sen, Head of Product and Community at ET Brand Equity, to lead the conversation. Over to you, Satyajit.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the next session of the day, which is on Connected TV, understanding the opportunity of Connected TV for Indian brands. There is no denying when it comes to the brand building and scaling up for a business's potential, television advertising is still the key. It is hard to beat the reach and the audience scale that TV offers to a brand. However, now we are talking about something new in the paradigm, which is called Connected TV. Connected TV presents a fascinating opportunity for advertisers, though the question to how to approach this opportunity is still up for discussion. Today in this panel, we will deep dive into understanding the nuances of connected TV and how this new medium is actually helping advertising and brand building. I am honored to be joined by an esteemed panel of professionals who have been leading the growth of connected TV ecosystem in India. Introducing in no particular order, Mr. Pravir Sahame, Senior Director, India and Southeast Asia at Samsung Ads. Welcome, Pravir.
Hi, Satyajit.
My next panelist is Mr. Siddharth Davare, MD of India and SAARC at Mi2 Digital. Welcome, Siddharth.
Thank you. Thanks, Satyajit.
Great. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us today. So, before understanding the real nuances of what connected TV is, I would really want to start with both of you here and understand, what is connected TV, right? There is a kind of a confusion that is going on between connected TV and OTT, and the devices and everything that the supplemental devices that people are consuming content on, especially video content. So, probably I want to come to you here and understand, what connected TV is. What kind of paradigm shift in the consumer behavior does it offer and does it see, right, when it comes to connected TV? And what are the opportunities, what are the opportunities for connected TV in India at large?
Well, that's a loaded question, Satyajit, and I think we can easily go forever on that. But there are 3 or 4 questions that was rolled off in that long sentence. So I'll break it down for you as easily as I can for the audience to understand. One thing definitely is what is getting very clear that the connected part of TV is getting dropped rather quickly. It's very similar to the evolution of feature phone to a smartphone where everything is now a phone. And the same thing is what we're now seeing that and quite surprisingly happened in a very short span of couple of years. Like when I started, it was all CTV, but now we all talk about TV advertising or addressable TV advertising. So the nomenclature is getting more simplified for the ecosystem to really understand what we are dealing with. That's number one. Number two, I think the IAB quite nicely defines that TVs are a subset of OTT. OTT is actually a multi-device, environment which you can consume on the go, on your phone, on your computers, on your tablets, as well as on your television. So TV is one of those platforms on which you can consume OTT contents, while OTT remains something which is overarching and runs across multiple devices. I think with those 2 definitions out of our way, the other interesting piece is your insights on what's really happening with the consumers when they're looking at the television today. And what are the opportunities for the advertisers to really look at. Number one is very evident, and it's now pretty much sounds like a broken record. There are more and more people watching content not only from linear broadcast, but also from streaming platforms. That is very evident. We see in the Samsung device ecosystem, nearly 50% of device owners actually do not watch linear content. They're very, very heavy on streaming platforms, right? Quite nicely balanced between your subscriber-based VOD platforms as well as the advertising-funded VOD platform. But there's a surprise element. The moment there is a live event or live sports, we do see linear broadcast fast comeback in the viewing behavior. Uh, so again, just reinforcing that message, streaming platforms are here to stay and are definitely growing the consumption of the consumption on the television itself. And there are live events which still matter to the broadcast ecosystem. And this is creating a very exciting opportunity for advertisers at large. Historically, where TVs was largely driven like a black box, and you were not getting sufficient signals in terms of who the audience is, what they're watching. Addressable TV or the new age TV advertising now offers a glimpse into what really is happening in the TV ecosystem, and how can you further create opportunities to engage with your potential target audience. So we at Samsung Ads are I would say unveiling a whole bunch of different advertising platforms, right from advertising on the home screen to our own very own fast platform called TV Plus, which offers a near TV linear broadcast like experience, and there you have video opportunities. At the same time, we are unlocking viewership patterns. We are unlocking what people are watching, where they're watching, what kind of content are they consuming, and making them all available to the advertiser community to target. And one last thing as I wrap it up, this is one such opportunity where you're only engaging with the TV which is switched on and not TV, which is potentially owned. So that's a massive opportunity to have your ad on the largest screen in the house. That too, when it's switched on, is potentially watched by the entire family. So that's a very exciting space to be in, and that's exactly what it brings to the market for all the advertising agencies looking at this today.
Great. Thanks, Prav. You have set the tone for the discussion perfectly. So, this brings me to Siddharth here. Siddharth, what's your take? You have been working with a lot of advertisers closely. How do you see the intake when it comes to connected TV? And overall, from a overarching point of view, how does connected TV feature in the entire, advertising ecosystem that we speak about?
Yeah, so so Sujit, great question, and thanks to Prab for setting the stage. So let's look at the numbers, right? What we have is we have 20 plus million households in India who are watching all their content on TV, which is connected to the internet, right? And we all know that most of the times nowadays, even new films are getting released on OTT platforms, and it's being backed by all the leading producers and studios and everything, right? So there's a huge amount of content also which is getting produced. If you look at from an market perspective, all the new which are getting sold are also connected TV or smart TV only. No one is going to buy any old TV because they're not available only, right? So as Prab rightly said, the whole nomenclature is becoming simple because it's going to be TV only, which is just connected to the internet, and consumer is going to take it very much for granted that that is how TV should be. We will soon forget that TV was not a device which was used to be connected to the internet. It's as simple as that, and I see that happening in our combined mind space within consumers. By end of this year, we will forget that TV was ever not connected to internet. So all this is leading to very high growth as well. So again, coming back to numbers, there are some estimates where they are saying that by 2025 there will be many more households, maybe 100 million households, which would be connected through connected TV. And that means about 400 million consumers, which is a huge number, right? The other very important point is that if you look at it from an advertiser's perspective, right? These are urban affluent consumers who chose to buy the connected TV or the smart TV, which obviously from a price point perspective also it's a relatively high-end device, right? Of course, the device price is now going down as well as we go along. But clearly, this is the segment which every advertiser wants to have because they have the highest purchasing power as well. So, given all this, there is a very, very natural interest towards this medium now. What we see is that there was a lack of information about this medium, say 6 months back or a year back, but even that is now not there, and a lot of advertisers already know about connected TV in a very, very good way, and they are very keen to add this channel as a part of their media mix. And there are various reasons. One biggest reason which we have come across is the audiences, right? These are the audiences which many of these brands do want. The second big reason is that many of these audiences, maybe 50% or more, are actually not watching traditional TV. So the only way you can reach out to them is through digital and through TV, right? The obviously TV is a big medium from a storytelling perspective as well. It has that environment, and TV, that's why has been the biggest medium. So that is third big reason that now I can combine the digital precision with the impact of TV, and that is something which is very, very appealing to many advertisers as well. The fourth reason I would say is that many of the advertisers are also looking at this as adding one more channel. And we all know that if you have multi-channel campaign, then the effectiveness of the campaign improves as well, right? So, and nothing like adding a channel like TV into the entire digital mix as well. And I think the fifth big reason is that there are, many digital first advertisers now in India who want to try everything out which is coming up in on digital. And obviously TV going digital can be the biggest game changer in this industry. That is one. And even the traditional TV advertisers, they are also looking at this very, very strongly because they inherently like TV as a medium, and now they like the precision which will be coming in through digital as well. So these are the reasons why we are seeing more and more advertisers are adding connected TV in their media mix. And I would not be surprised if connected TV becomes like a very big part of their strategy, in by the end of the year. It is right now getting added, but maybe, the planning might start happening with connected TV as the central point for many of these advertisers.
Great. A great point indeed, Siddharth. So, this brings me to the performance part of digital marketing, right? One thing that makes digital marketing so dynamic and vibrant is the performance metrics, right? And we all know that, when it comes to traditional TV, measurement is the real big problem there, right? And probably that's why, people say that, we can just do a branding exercise on TV and rest you can, assure and hope for the best. But how does it happen in connected TV? And I come to Prabir here. So Prabir, as a OEM, right? And how do you see the measurement quotient, right? And in helping out brands and advertisers when it comes to advertising and ensuring ROI on connected TV.
So, so I come from the school of thought where every marketing you do is performance marketing. Doesn't matter which part of the funnel you're touching on. But yeah, the digital fraternity is very much linked to the performance model and leans on to the last click and multi-touch attribution, etc. One thing which is very unique in the TV space is that there is no click, right? You're watching something as you would watch without much of interaction. But having said that, even though if there's a click, that click lands within the TV ecosystem. So the way we are solving this is quite interesting. Actually, is I would say we can quite compartmentalize it in three buckets. Number one is making the buyer understand about the nuances of what as a device it can do and cannot do. I think without addressing that specific part of the journey of learning a new platform, answering questions like performance marketing can become very, very tricky and potentially misguided. So it's important for us to make people understand that what a device can do. Number two, the ad opportunities are very different. So if you look at a phone or maybe potentially a browser or computing environment, you are dealing with multiple ads being shown to you in a very short span of time. Whereas in the TV space, irrespective of which platform you're on, quite possibly you're only looking at one ad and maybe one advertiser at any given point in time. So these are very different ad experiences which we need to educate the buyers into. So that's step one that we are doing as part of our I would say induction into the country. The other two parts basically then segments advertisers into two broad buckets. Advertiser number one is an advertiser who has an app for the television. In India, it is primarily the entertainment, vertical. But if you look at other markets like US or Europe, you have a whole bunch of other applications, right from entertainment to health to gaming, to news, and a host of other communication applications as well. So for anybody who is present on the TV, we offer end-to-end measurement right from the time People have been exposed to the ad, to the click, and then subsequent engagement within the app environment. And these integrates with third-party tools as well. So you're not only relying on us in telling you what happened after your ad, but you're also looking at your third-party validations for these particular players. So this there comes a full circle. So you can create multiple segments based on people exposed to ads, not exposed to ads, engaged with your ads, engaged with a certain section within your application, and a host of other things. So I think there we have the full shebang of the full funnel. Where things get tricky is advertisers or brands which are not fulfilled on the TV, and there we've kept simple, down to first principles, which is if you look at any traditional TV advertising, it is designed to impact the upper funnel metrics. But there we are unlocking something called linear reach extension, which helps you identify televisions on which your linear ads were run or not run, and then basis that you can create advertising experience which is reaching out to people that you would want to reach out to. That in one way completes the reach measurement part of it. We're also working with a couple of industry experts to build brand lift surveys, to also build integrations with third-party recall platforms. So understand that how does running ads on TVs and now these addressable TV help move your upper funnel metrics. So that's, I would say, still a couple of months away, but definitely for the brand advertisers, we do have capabilities like linear reach extension, deduplication of audiences across different platform that you could potentially be advertising on television. But for the performance guys, it is end to end. But I would say if there's one thing that we want to take away as I close this question, is that there's a lot of education, and one must understand that there are nuances of the device, and it's a very different experience. Keeping in mind the click have limited capabilities as compared to other computing devices that we are privy to.
Great. Siddharth, I really want to come to you here and understand, like, is there really a space for a industry-wise metric when it comes to measurement? Because we know that in TV there is a measurement metric there which marketeers and advertisers refer to always, right? How big is the opportunity here, and what as an ecosystem can be done towards, as Prabhu said, right, educating the marketeers, right?
It's a great question, Tatrajit. So I think that's why MIQ as a company focuses a lot on programmatic, right? Because programmatic has that inherent nature that you are what you're trying to do is you're trying to have a single panel where you are able to measure what is your reach, and how you are able to integrate different channels, and it can be connected TV, it can be display video, which is there on your mobile and computer, and it can also be digital out of home and other channels as well. So that is one part where programmatic is already playing an important role, right? The other part which you talked about is industry wide. I'm sure it will develop as we go along, right? And there is I would say from a connected TV perspective, ACR data is very important, right? And then we globally work extensively on ACR data, and obviously marketer is looking at some fundamental questions: that who is my consumer, where is my consumer, how can I maximize my reach in my target group, and then how do I measure the effectiveness of what I have done, right? And to answer all these questions, you need to have very robust data, which is coming through ACR, and then from there, how do you integrate data from various sources, which you're collecting, either yourself or with all the partners with whom you're working with. How do you collect all that data, and then how do you make sense of that, right, by figuring out that okay, these are the channels which are working for me, this is where my consumer is, this is how I see the effectiveness of my campaign, and this is how the various channel interaction is also happening. So on a routine basis, in India also, we do something called path to conversion analytics, which helps us to help our advertisers and our agency partners get complete view of how their different channels of marketing are working for them, and where are their consumers, and how is the effectiveness of their campaign. So and of course, meaning we always want a perfect answer, but technology is changing so fast and new form factors are coming in as well. So it's it's but we have come a long way, I would say, and that's why I started with programmatic as a technology. And in India also, I'm seeing that programmatic is growing because market is definitely seeing that instead of buying publisher one by one like the way I used to do earlier, that was obviously one way of doing it. But now I have a technology where I can integrate everything and then have a better control on my channels and can measure it more effectively. And that's where market is moving very, very rapidly. So yeah, things seem to be in a flux, but definitely I would say it's a progressive flux.
Great, great. So I really want to come to both of you gentlemen now and talk about the Mi2 and Samsung partnership, the specific partnership that you have, right? So Siddharth, we'll start with you here. Uh, so how do you see this very partnership strengthening the entire ecosystem of connected TV in India? And going forward, how does it help in shaping up the advertising spends for connected TV as and, as you grow in this market?
Yeah. Yeah. So Tanishq, basically globally, we are a leader in connected TV, right? And we invest a lot in having ACR data, and that combines with our data analytics capabilities, data science capabilities, works very well. Because when you are looking at large amounts of data, you really require very high specialized skills to first gather that data and then understand that data. And also data privacy is very, very important as well, right? So you globally would want to do it in such a way that it doesn't in any way infringe on any of the privacy requirements in any way. And we are a global company, right? So we are very, very careful with that because we have a lot at stake. We do brand safety in all our campaigns. We are GDPR compliant. We have a chief data privacy officer, right, worldwide. So we follow all these things very, very diligently, and that's why we are very confident of handling this data. That is a very key point. And then, of course, I think in India, Samsung is such a big brand, right? And there is such a big footprint of Samsung TV in India. So, and I would say Samsung Ads is actually leading the CTV dialogue in the country, which is fantastic, right? Because this is a big game changer, and someone has to lead it basically. So we are very, very happy with this partnership, and with this we have access to Samsung DSP and the ACR data, and that way then we are able to help our advertisers to understand how they can utilize Samsung DSP to do the campaign and also utilize the data to target in more precise way. And then, of course, as things develop in terms of the measurement, in terms of the uplift, we would be able to provide those services and value additions also to our advertisers. And it fits in very nicely with our whole mission that we want to connect different data sets which an advertiser would have from their different channels and help them create a fuller view of where their consumer is, which channels do they want to use, and how is their campaign effectiveness. So yeah, and that's where marketers also very much moving into figuring out a complete solution, because digital is allowing them to do. And obviously, as we go along, things will move more and more digital.
Correct. So, Prav, over to you. So, basically, what's your take on, how this partnership, as Sid just mentioned, is helping in shaping up the entire ecosystem for brands and advertisers as such when it's concerned about connectivity?
Yeah, I think we are definitely super excited working closely with MIQ, just like we are excited to work with many other partners. I think one of the things I remember early on, Sid was the first one to raise his hand and said that whenever you launch a DSP, sign us up, no questions asked. There has been definitely a lot of interest. We've definitely invested time, and likewise, we've seen investment being done by MIQ as well to ramp up their capabilities. So both of us are very early on in this journey, but we are committed to build an exciting and thriving CTV ecosystem. So super excited to be part of this with Sid and his team at MIQ.
Great. So, gentlemen, when it comes to the entire growth of connected TV ecosystem in India,
Mhm.
Sid, you just mentioned about, there might be a day in the near future where advertising spends are planned, keeping CTV as the center, right? What do we all need as an ecosystem to get there as soon as possible?
Right. I think no, I would say we need to the first fundamental thing which we definitely need to do is understand the medium, right? I think that once the understanding is there, then what we are seeing is that automatically there is a large interest, and then there is things are moving in that direction, right? That is very, very key. And of course, I'm very confident because we have experience in other markets as well, what we have seen over time developing, that it will be actually largely driven by consumers as well, right? Actually, it will all be driven by consumers because, one, they're going to replenish their TV sets with the smart TV, right? So the numbers will keep increasing. Secondly, their watching behavior is now moving more and more towards OTT content, digital content, and that is a secular trend, and that is only accelerating. Right. And I can watch a web series on my mobile. But I can watch a web series on TV as well, right? And device prices are also going down relatively as we go along as well. So it's there's large consumer interest. Environment is getting more and more, I would say very, very amenable for them to move towards CTV, and so it will all be driven by consumers. And then from there, from an advertiser perspective, it will be very much welcome because you are getting the precision of digital on a large format like TV. So very secular trends, meaning there is nothing which can disrupt this trend is what I see. And then we are doing our bit to and help industry understand about this. And with the understanding, it becomes very clear that this is where I would like to move, and this is what I would like to do.
Great. Prav, your take. So, as far as scope, right,
Mhm.
of this entire ecosystem is concerned, where are we currently, and what's the growth path in that, and where do you see the entire connected TV ecosystem going 5 years down the line? Considering India as a market.
I think one thing which will definitely start to happen is this whole thing about cross device. So when you start playing out this narrative, because all of this is going to be led by the broader change of content distribution. Earlier, if you want to watch something, it was largely only a set-top box or maybe, one or two platforms available in different, I would say, different environment. But if you're looking at a 5-year view, a lot of disruption in the content and the content consumption space will come from how distribution is changing and where all content is available. And also that content becoming more and more interactive. I mean, that's where it is headed. And people are going to be spoiled for more choice. I mean, the users are going to have more and more platforms to choose from, right from entertainment content to short form content, to maybe content which is live stream, to commerce content. Maybe, we might see another evolution around concerts as well. So just how people consuming content and which device people are consuming content will decide where this is netted out. What we're seeing in the short term, just like any industry which starts from scratch, they are early adopters. Some of these early adopters are converting into an always-on brand, which shows their appetite and their willingness to understand the nuances and clearly see the benefits of where it is fitting in their overall marketing matrix. We've got a couple of advertisers who have actually gone ahead and can clearly identify blips in their business, specifically online business, the moment they run, advertising across the Samsung TV networks. So the early adapters definitely are leveraging the benefits of starting ahead. I think it's probably like what the feedback we get is probably the cheapest cost of exposure at a large screen that one can expect today. It probably beats every economies. If I remember correctly, we average anywhere between 10 paise to 15 paise for a completed view, and that too, which is verifiable. Like you're not just showing ads randomly. So it's in the short term, it is very, very cost effective. It reaches out to audiences like Sid mentioned, which have disposable income, because ultimately you want people to buy your product or service when they see your ad, and the early adopters are definitely benefiting it. And a couple of years down the line, as this becomes, like from an experiment element to a mainstream, which I think should happen much quicker, is only going to fuel the access to cross-device addressability. and a very different advertiser and content consumption ecosystem that what we see today. So super exciting, 5 years, which is what 2027 from today. Maybe you'll ask that question again in 2027, like what after in 5 years?
Yeah, and I'll just add here,
Sure.
what we have seen digital revolution happening in India pretty much on mobile. Now, just look at mobile, such a small screen, right? So it's my mind blows away when I see that, I can, and I'm not in any way saying that mobile is a smaller medium, right? Mobile is obviously the largest medium right now. But imagine when you are seeing the same ad on a big screen, right? And the kind of impact you can have, because we all know in the industry that obviously it's a visual medium, it's an audio medium, and the kind of environment it can create. So I think on digital with mobile, we have come a long way. But I would say, picture abhi baki hai, right? Meaning, the big picture is coming now.
Right. On that note, gentlemen, actually, we have all seen that, how digital has evolved, and it's still evolving. It's a super dynamic medium. And, let's say connected TV is going to be a similarly dynamic and super dynamic medium. So I'm sure 5 years is too much of a time. Things will change rapidly
Yep.
and hopefully for the better in 2 years' time. On that note, gentlemen, thank you so much for, joining us today and helping us and our audiences, our marketed audiences, understand the nuances of connected TV. I'm sure we have just scratched the surface, and there are a lot of know-hows that one needs to understand before diving deep into this media. We'll connect again, and obviously to understand better, and as Prav said, to discuss about the new challenges that connected TV brings for us. On that note, thank you so much for joining us. Stay tuned to it.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Satrajit.
Thank you everyone for such a knowledgeable conversation. Now we'll move further to the next session.